You've probably doubted yourself more times than you can count. You looked at someone else and thought, they're just smarter than me. They figure things out faster. They always know what to say. But here's what neuroscience actually shows. The people who doubt their intelligence the most are often the ones with the highest cognitive capacity. And today, we're going to show you exactly why. Because the signs of real intelligence aren't what most people think they are. Hey, I'm Alex from BodyTalk. Every Friday, we decode exactly why your brain and body do what they do. Quick disclaimer. This is educational content based on real neuroscience and cognitive psychology. Always consult a professional for personal advice. Now, let's get into it. Sign number 1. You constantly second-guess yourself. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. People with low intelligence tend to overestimate their abilities. They don't know enough to know what they don't know. But people with high intelligence do the opposite. The more you understand, the more you realize how much you don't understand. If you frequently question whether your ideas are good enough, whether you made the right decision, whether you truly understand something, that's not a sign of weakness. That's metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. And it's one of the strongest predictors of high intelligence ever identified in cognitive science. Sign number 2, you talk to yourself. Not because something is wrong with you, because your brain is processing at a high level. Research from psychologists at Bangor University found that people who talk to themselves out loud, or even in their heads, perform significantly better on cognitive tasks. Inner speech helps the brain organize complex information, regulate emotions, and plan future actions. It's essentially your brain using language as a tool to think more clearly. If you narrate your thoughts, talk yourself through problems, or replay conversations in your head, your brain is doing something remarkable. It's using one of the most advanced cognitive tools available to humans. Sign number 3. You get overwhelmed by too many choices. This feels like a weakness. It's actually the opposite. Highly intelligent people process more variables simultaneously. When you see a menu, a decision, or a life choice, your brain immediately begins calculating more possible outcomes than the average person. This is called cognitive load. And the reason it feels overwhelming is because your brain is doing more work than most. Research shows that people who feel paralyzed by choices often have higher processing capacity. They're not indecisive, they're thorough. Sign number 4. You notice things other people miss. Details, patterns, inconsistencies, changes in someone's tone. This is called perceptual sensitivity, and it's directly linked to fluid intelligence, one of the core components of what scientists actually measure when they measure intelligence. Your brain is running background analysis constantly, picking up information that most people's brains filter out as irrelevant. If you often find yourself noticing something nobody else saw, a contradiction in someone's argument, a pattern in data, a shift in someone's mood, your brain is operating at a higher resolution than average. Sign number 5. You find it hard to turn your brain off at night. You lie in bed and your brain keeps running, replaying conversations, planning tomorrow, solving problems, asking questions nobody else is asking. Research from the journal Personality and Individual Differences found that people with higher IQ scores spend significantly more time lost in thought, both during the day and at night. The brain of a highly intelligent person doesn't switch to idle easily. It looks for stimulation, connection, meaning, even when you want it to stop. This is frustrating, but it's also a signature of a mind that doesn't waste its processing power. Sign number 6. You're intensely curious about things that don't matter practically. Why does the sky look different colors at sunset? How language evolved? What it actually feels like to be another person? Curiosity that has no immediate practical use is a hallmark of high intelligence. Researchers at the University of Toronto found that people who score higher on intelligence measures consistently show higher levels of epistemic curiosity, the desire to explore ideas purely for the sake of understanding, not utility. Most people's brains conserve energy by ignoring what isn't immediately useful. Highly intelligent brains seek information even when there's no obvious reward. Sign number 7. You adapt quickly when plans fall apart. Things go wrong. The plan changes. The situation shifts. And while most people freeze or spiral, you adjust. This is cognitive flexibility. the ability to update your mental model of a situation in real time and generate new approaches. It's one of the executive functions most strongly correlated with general intelligence. And it's not something you're taught. It's something your brain does automatically when it has the processing power to handle new information without shutting down. If people often say things like, "You think fast on your feet," your brain is doing something most people's can't do as smoothly. Sign number 8. You feel like you don't fit in most social situations. Not because you're broken, because your brain operates differently. Highly intelligent people often feel out of place in group settings, not because they can't socialize, but because they process social situations at a different level. They pick up on subtext, power dynamics, and unspoken tensions that most people don't consciously register, and this makes casual social interaction feel simultaneously easy to analyze and hard to enjoy. Research consistently shows that highly intelligent individuals prefer deeper, one-on-one conversations over group small talk. Not because they're antisocial, because their brain craves more signal and less noise. Sign number 9. You learn from watching, not just doing. You observe. You absorb. You notice how something works before you try it yourself. This is called observational learning, and the capacity for it is directly tied to working memory and pattern recognition, two of the most fundamental components of measured intelligence. Highly intelligent people build mental models quickly. They don't need to repeat an experience 10 times to understand it. They extract the pattern from a single observation and apply it broadly. If you often find yourself understanding something just by watching someone else do it, your brain is compressing information at a higher rate than most. Sign number 10. You question things everyone else accepts. Why do we do it this way? Who decided this was true? Does this actually make sense? Questioning default assumptions is one of the defining cognitive traits of high intelligence. It requires the ability to step outside of consensus thinking, to treat widely accepted beliefs as hypotheses rather than facts. Most brains don't do this naturally. It takes too much energy and creates too much social friction. But highly intelligent brains are built for exactly this kind of friction. They don't accept information just because everyone else does. They test it. And that, more than IQ scores, more than grades, more than how fast you solve problems, is what real intelligence actually looks like. If this video helped you see yourself differently, subscribe to BodyTalk right now. Every Friday, we break down exactly why your brain and body do what they do. Next week, why your brain makes you feel like everyone is judging you, even when they're not. Hit subscribe and the bell. See you next Friday.